what do you think about overhead lifts for baseball guys?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'd say is they're not all created equal. Like, myself is the best example, right? I've got a bum shoulder. It hates overhead pressing. If I do a military press with a barbell, I'll hurt for 3 months. It doesn't matter if it's the bar. It doesn't matter if it's 95. It just doesn't jive well with the structural change that I have in my shoulder. I can throw as much weight as I want on a landmine press and go to town, and it feels great. I do like a Viking press or Pentagon bar, whatever it is, it feels fine. And we're literally talking about a shift of the vector or the resistance of 20 to 30 degrees, and it's completely fine for me. I can get all the same training benefits. I probably get better scapular upward rotation. But because that vector is different, I'm totally fine. So what I talk about is, overhead lifts are not all created equal, right? A bottoms up kettlebell waiter's walk is an overhead lift. A TRXY is an overhead lift. A Turkish get up is an overhead lift. A yoga push up is technically an overhead lift. So I would tell you, we do a ton of them. We just use the right kinds. I like them because they drive the movement of the shoulder blade that we really need to be efficient as an overhead athlete. What we're not doing is a lot of just like barbell push presses, dumbbell push presses. Like very rarely we train directly in that vertical vector. A lot more of it is like stuff that allows us to reach as we go overhead, similar to what you would expect to get to at like a ball release position or something along those lines. But our arms are overhead a lot. And if you need proof, literally just walk into any baseball locker room and look for how many downslope shoulders you see. Guys whose shoulders just kind of go like this. You can't even see their upper traps, and they've been lifting for years. It's because they sit in so much scapular depression. They become so lat dominant that they're desperately seeking something that's going to drive their shoulder blades up. So if that's the case, I'm giving them more reaching, more overhead stuff to kind of counteract it.
Cool.
That's very good stuff. So really, it's just kind of case by case situation. If you're doing that lift and that's killing that kid, find something else. Like don't push him through that. Like not everybody's like my shoulder's the same way. I can't do anything over my head. I mean, it's very lightweight, and I find the right angle with my hands or anything else like that to kind of open up that shoulder to where I can do that movement. But I think that's the thing is like, right, so like with the baseball kids, you're definitely not dealing with as many as a football team, so you could find an exercise for that kid, if he's struggling.
Yeah, and I think it's also short-sighted to assume that like baseball always takes precedence, right? What happens if you get a three-sport athlete?
Yeah.
You get a football, basketball, baseball kid. Like, I'll be honest, like when I was at the University of Connecticut 2003 to 2005, basketball was mostly what I worked with. We did a lot of overhead presses. The amount of time those guys spend overhead, they need it.
Yeah.
It was helpful for them. So, I think there's nothing wrong with kind of going in and off season and your strength and conditioning stuff as well. But, sometimes you just have to ask, why are you using your bullet there, right? I think we can all agree, like, bench press is good. Does it really hold that much water with respect to how successful we'll be at the at the football level? Like, can we get just as much by training other patterns, maybe in the standing position, whatever it may be? And that's obviously a point that's open to debate, but I think it's something that I'm willing to give on a little bit if it makes the program safer.
Came from the mud. There's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the Lord.